All right, this is Nostrovini, and this is about what you call your basic comedy based on the New York Post, the best newspaper in the town that has an underlying sense of humor about itself that I could compound with my own sense of humor to make comic genius. They ruin sex, and this is also a political diatribe from my own Vinny Gottschalk perspective or Vinny Gotcha perspective. They ruin sex. This is about Sex in the City, a show I never watched because I'm a man. Let me tell you something, but they ruined it because it used to be, little ladies going around the city. That's fine. I don't judge it. I'm encouraging, in fact. But let me tell you something. What they did was they brought it back, and they brought it back. And Jessica Parker, over the years, is not bad looking broad. I mean, she looks like you could cut wood with her face sometimes. A little bigger than the features situation there. But they did a woke version in which they snuck in a lot of homosexuality and pride, gender, they don't, those days. They did that. They did that and they ruined it because then it's like heavy-handed. You know what I mean? I mean, all these things have a underlying feminist sort of female perspective to them, but this was ridiculous from what I heard. I didn't actually see it. I read it in the paper that was doing this, but I assumed, I assumed that they were doing this stuff. So, Sex in the City pretty much ruined sex. Men don't want to have sex no more because they have to deal with this. These ruinous women, and then, I say, look, if you want to go out with a guy who basically, or a gal who's pretending to be a guy and make a pretender, maybe that's the best way for all that are involved. So you don't aggravate the men. And we could watch our video games. That's what I think. Let me tell you something. Keep your chin up. Hannibal Lecter was in on this. Maybe it's a joke. What they did was they put a little thing around your neck to make your chin stay up. A lot of these models, they're Botoxing their heads off. And Hannibal, I'm surprised he's doing it. He's semi-retired and what? He's doing little commercials now. He needs little humorous things to keep his spirits up. I don't blame the man. He was a great actor. I loved him in Silence of the Lambs. I identified with it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I get hungry, but not hungry like that. Jimmy, I don't know what this is. School boss Jimmy. Let's probably some communist from the city council is going to become the school boss, so he could teach everybody to hate the Jews. They don't like Jews. They don't like Jews. The guy who's coming in or might be coming in, God forbid, the commie, Zormo, or whatever the hell his name is. He's um he's a communist and he hates Jews. That's what he says from the river to the sea. And he said, "Well, that means no Jews around here. You see, that's what it's about." Now I'm not Jewish. I'm not a Catholic, and I'm not a Protestant. Well, I'm a Catholic and a Protestant, but not a Jewish guy. I'm actually a mixture. I'm Italian, Irish, Scotch, English, and German, and maybe French. I don't know. When I get an attitude, yeah, maybe I'm a little French. Joyride at the airport. You know what? People are getting too drunk nowadays. Everybody's getting high, and I don't understand what it is. The Demon Rum is running amok. That goes to the airport. What do you think? What is he going to do? And he takes one of the go-karts and he crashes it around. You never had that happen in airports when I was a kid. The society was much more ordered and much more stable. Staggering number of war losses. Hey, the Ruskies are losing people. See, I feel threatened by the Russian invasion of Europe. Because if they can't, they've had almost 3 years to beat the Ukrainians, and they still can't get through to that. How are they going to go through Poland, Lithuania, and Finland? They can't sustain those kind of arrests. There's only so many Russians to go around. I'm sure they'll overwhelm and win the war attrition with Ukraine, but maybe not. Now I've started to have a different feeling about this Ukrainian war. Maybe the Ukrainians can win. They could outlast the Ruskies, outlast Putin. I mean, the man's mortal. He's up there and he don't look healthy. He don't look. He's got a little what you call a doughy look to his face. So yeah. So if he dies, they may sue for peace. So the Russians may say, okay, I will keep this, that, and the other, and we won't try to overthrow it. Staggering number of war losses, but it's the Serbs on move. The Russians, they say they threaten an atomic war. You can't do that with Mr. Don. Donnie. You know what he did? He sent nuclear subs on the coast of Russia. See? That's what up issues. That's a man. That's a man. Biden wouldn't do that. Biden would piss in his pants. Oh, that's not fair. Biden normally pisses in his pants. Warn, yeah. Warn to Russia. Look, don't screw with the Don. The Don is a man. We have a man in the White House nowadays. So you know what I'm saying? Yes, that's true. Trump goes nuclear. Yeah, yeah. The Trump, that's the thing. Trump is willing to go all the way. He's willing to go all the way. That's why I respect the man. He's not Italian, he's German and something else. But what a man. What a man, what a man, what a man we got in the White House. Could goes nuclear, Kosovo, Powell, and Cuff. The city council, which is made up of Jew-hating Palestinian and Spanish people. One of them, when he got him handcuffed, was free Palestine. Yeah, free Palestine from the Jews. That's what they want to do. When it's free, then the Jews are not going to get away with it. They have about 100 atomic weapons. So everybody, so if by chance somehow the uh, the Iranians got their nukes, they got their nukes. Everybody gets nuked. You hit it, I hit a nuke. Look, what they should do is move all those. I don't know what they're going to do with those guys. Those Ghazians, the troublemakers. They've always been troublemakers. They caused a civil war in Lebanon. In Lebanon, they supposed the war and took over the country. And then back in Lebanon, they no Jordan, they caused a civil war. Wherever they go, trouble follows. Yes, 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 yes. But there is good signs. The Donnie's envoy, my Donnie, his envoy ended up being cheered because because we're giving all the food. We and the Israelis are giving all the food to the Ghazi's. That's who's supporting it. No one in history, as a country or a people, or fed the enemy. We didn't feed the Nazis when we were fighting the Nazis or the Japanese. An offer you can't refuse. I don't understand. I don't remember what that was from. Stylist preys on teen. Yeah, that's not right. Don't prey on teens. This a male hairstylist. He made the moves on the young guy, and the young guy was a shampoo boy or something like that. I didn't read the full article, but that happened to me once. Somebody, I was a hairstylist. I was a good-looking guy, and some guy tried to molest me, and I said, no, 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 no. I ain't that way. I ain't that way. Styles prays on team offer he can pay for the minimum for the MTA. The MTA is broke. The cemetery can't pay for itself. It's a broke thing. It's a thing, and they want more money. They want more money. That's crazy. What are you doing getting more money? You don't deserve the money, more money. Cassie, the mask Hochul, she has more, something in that face that's not normal. A woman's face don't move. It's like Cher's face. I'm telling you, it's crazy. The world's crazy. It's nutsy crazy. Nutsy crazy world. Deadly and stays and still confused. Who could that be? Mr. Biden. Biden did a speech in front of people. They're still let him go outdoors. He gets paid $1 million a speech because his words are so golden. Um, and of course, his brain is dead. And he's just validating that everybody knows that he was cognitively not dead. So he's there, doing the speech, proving that his brain is mush. And I'm saying, why isn't this guy dead yet? I'm telling you, the man, I'll swear to God. I mean, he, with all the falls he took and wandering into the woods by himself, and now the prostate cancer, But he did business. He was strong. He managed to steal a lot of money while he was doing all this. Of course, his junkie son, Hunter was helping him out. Teen Joe versus the yeah. And now, if Harris comes out, when she's got her own book, that Joe was a little peaked, they're gonna go after him, and they're gonna say how screw up she was. And you got two people. You got one with no brain and one with no personality. You take the thing. She can't even cameras. Yeah, she was on the Colbert Show, and they asked her. They said, Miss Harris, so who's the leader of the Democratic Party? Well, she couldn't answer. She don't even know what's going on in her own party. She's just all big boobs, big boobs. So I think I had to tell you, she's a good-looking woman. She's got good genes. There've been complaints about white girls proud of their white genes. And now, she's got a mix. She's what you call a milkshake girl. That's what I call her. Girls, she's Hindu and Jamaican white. I don't know what the hell she is. Hey, yeah, was enough. Hey, this little boy, he was into the truck. He went and he put his hand into the squid with the octopus. And the octopus grabbed him back. What are you doing, kid? What are you doing having a top that people can reach in and grab something? You got kids there, you know they're idiots. They do surfing on trains. They're nuts, nuts. Hey, Don is gonna open all the books on Epstein. They've been trying to say that he was a good friend of Epstein and he's doing hoopy doo. No, 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 with little young girls. This is bull. You know, this is a lie, a lie. It was to Clinton and maybe Hillary doing a little hoopy doop with little people. Now I mean midgets. Oh yeah, it's crazy stuff going on. Crazy stuff. Da 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 da. Right, so hearing energy crisis. We got an energy crisis. We shouldn't have because we have all the energy in the world. But those goddamn environmentalists with their lies about, oh, the environment's so interrupted and the global warming. There's no such a thing as global warming. Let me tell you, I'm informing them. Yeah, doesn't exist. It's a big lie. It's a big lie. Now let's say baby born of embryo. What is this? This is 30 years ago, and then they took an embryo and they put it in a petri dish and they kept it for 30 years. So theoretically, this kid that's born now will have the acoustics of somebody born in 1980 something or the arts. They'll be fond of roller skating and disco and all that. That's so funny. I bet you what's going to happen. Atomic peacemaker. The atomic bomb saved us a lot of work. We had to invade, they keep on saying, oh, it was a tragedy. The Japanese were in their last thing. They wanted to fight us on the mainland with most of their weapons intact and with the civilian population backing them. If we had used an atomic bomb, not only would we have a situation on our hands, we would have a lot of casualties. So it was a peacemaker. I was against the atomic bomb being used on the Japanese, but when in hindsight is eyes in the back of your butt. Oh yeah, atomic peace, social, or his family is rich people. The commie who's from from Uganda. And he says he's Ugandan, he's black. He's not black. He said that in a sense when he applied for a job. He's Arab or Pakistani or whatever, but he's not. His family's a rich family. They're the aristocrats there, and now he wants to make him the only aristocrat in the city. And then, of course, he wants to kill Jews. Yeah, some followers want to kill Jews and beat up Jews and have a carte blanche to beat up Jews. Remember, Jewish people have offered a lot to society. What have you offered, Mr. Zuro? Nothing, nothing but trouble. You and your cohorts, your fellow travelers. Grab for the wheel. That's what we gotta do. We gotta be getting control of the Fed. We gotta fire the guys in there, and Trump should take over the Fed. That's of course, that's a no-brainer. I'm telling you, that's what should happen. From here, people all day want to hurt them. Yeah. Let's see. What are we gonna put this in? I got a little rushy. I gotta be taking care of myself. I gotta have these people take care of me. I need somebody to take care of me. Next to me, there are no judge on the jury. Yeah, these judges, they're all appointed by a Biden or and the communists. We have to take everybody who is appointed by Bill Clinton or not Clinton. Well, even Clinton, if it goes that far back, with Biden and Obama, take them off the bench. The communists or Marxist sympathizers, maybe even Muslims. Healthy, fairly affordable. You know what's happening in the new restaurants that you can afford is the delis. They're gonna knock them out because the communists he's gonna destroy the deli situation. They can get a good sandwich. If you went to a restaurant and got the same sandwich, it would cost you $1 billion. I'm not exaggerating, $1 billion. Well, yes, hoax was real. The hoax was real. They made a hoax that the Russians and Donnie were in cahoots. This could never be further from the truth. The Russians feared Donnie. What they wanted is Hillary because she's been in menopause, and her time of life has been going on a long time. That B girl is crazy. Real team does. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I'm missing to. I'm look like Appalachian Jack. Look at what's going on. I like my growth. I like myself. I love me. I'm being drawn by my own eyes. Look at that. Oh yeah. Drawn to myself. Oi. Okay, we're gonna put this. Here we go.